Hello, the Motley Patriot here. Thanks for dialing in today. So, we're going to take a moment. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and today I'm in Culpeper, Virginia. And in Culpeper, Virginia, I had to stop and start because no guns and no knives allowed. Culpeper National Cemetery, Department of Veterans Affairs, United States of America. So, if you're going to come up here and visit, don't park on site if you're a patriot. Culpeper National Cemetery. National cemeteries are shrines for the honored dead who have served in the armed forces of the United States. This is an honor. It's been accorded national cemeteries by Congress of the United States and Public Law 93-43. The National Cemeterius Act. In keeping with the honor bestowed by Congress, it is considered fitting and appropriate that visitors to these hallowed grounds refrain from any conduct or activity that is unbecoming to the final resting place of our nation's heroes. Accordingly, no visitors will be permitted to, well, let's see if I'm breaking a rule here, cut, break, or injure trees, shrubs, grass, or plantings. Use the cemetery for any form of sports or recreation, to include but not limited to jogging, skating, and bicycling. Use the cemetery as public grounds. Use the cemetery for public gatherings of a partisan nature. Allow pets to run loose. Engage in any other demeaning or activities or boisterous actions. That includes communism. No communism allowed. Because after all, that's what we're fighting for. And today it's important to remember that, a lot of our veterans are now getting involved in politics. And that's nothing new when you start digging into the history. And there are divides, political divides, but strong values and morals still hold sway. And I think one of the things that's important when we talk about politics is integrity and telling the truth. And I know sometimes in politics it does get to be a bit messy. And there's many a war that's been fought over politics. So what I will say is, let's take a look in honor and take a moment. See you all is here. Now right now, this is my first time looking at this cemetery. So Section M, James T. Thompson, August of 1916, died in 2002. 53 years married. They're amazing. World War II, Korea, James. World War II. These are recent. These are folks that have passed away. There was a lot of Korean veterans, Vietnam, World War II. Wow. John S. Hill, Captain, U.S. Army, World War II. Born in February 27th of 1914, and he died in March 26th of 1998. Something else. Oh my, look at this. So here's Robert H. Thornhill, private, first class, World War II. You know, it's really something else here. So this is Culpeper, and I understand there are also interned here soldiers from, I think they may or may not have moved soldiers from here during the Civil War. I think a lot of this section, well, here we go. Here's some more information. So the old section letters, oh, new section letters. So we came in the main entrance. Oh, quite a bit going on here. Avenue. I appreciate y'all watching this video today. Donald Hall, U.S. Navy, World War II, and Korea, and Vietnam. Look at that. Donald M. Hall, 3 wars. Served during 3 wars. Korea. A lot of folks in Korea. Sometimes I think it's one of the conflicts that's easily forgotten. My uncle was in Korea. David C. Cook, tank commander. Oh, that was, didn't talk about it much. My dad was in the Air Force during Vietnam, and Dad never went to active combat, but Dad certainly served for 23 years during that time. Well, here we go. Dedicated in memory of the men and women who served our country in the armed forces. Eisenhower Green Ash Silent Wishes Tree, 2001. November 92. Marines, Air Force, Army, Navy, Coast Guard. Donated by American Legion Post 330, Veterans of Foreign Wars. And let's go up here. I didn't realize it was such a poignant and solemn cemetery here. It's almost off the beaten path. If you're not looking for it, it's easy to not see it. Here we go. Wow. Culpeper National Cemetery. 1867. Here we go. An act to establish and protect national cemeteries approved February 22, 1867. And be it further enacted that any person who shall fully destroy, mutilate, deface, injure, or remove any monument, gravestone, or other structures, so willingly destroy, cut, or injure, or remove any tree, shrub within the limits, of being guilty of a misdemeanor. I call that a felonious assault. Take them, throw them away. Here we go. From the Bivouac of the Dead by Theodore O'Hara. The muffled drum's sad roll has beat, the soldier's last tattoo. No more on life's parade shall meet that brave and fallen few. On fame's eternal camping ground, where silent tears are spread, and glory guards with solemn round the bivouac of the dead. There's the General Orders Number 80, War Department, Adjunct General's Office, Washington, September 1875. Information having been received of the desecration of soldiers' grave by picnic parties in a national cemetery and by vending refreshments therein, is ordered that thereafter no such practices shall be allowed in any national cemetery nor any ground. Well, it looks like after the war, there may have been some hard feelings. Don't know. Wasn't there. Here we go. An estimated 700,000 Union and Confederate soldiers died in the Civil War between 1861 and April of 1865. As the death toll rose, the U.S. government struggled with the urgent but unplanned need to bury fallen Union troops. This propelled the creation of a national cemetery system. On September 11 of 1861, the War Department directed commanding officers to keep accurate and permanent records of deceased soldiers. It also required the U.S. Army Quartermaster General, the office responsible for administering the need of the troops in life and in death, to mark each grave with a headboard. A few months later, the department mandated interment of the dead in graves marked with numbered headboards recording in a registry. This gives you a sense. Soldiers' graves, General Hospital, City Point, Virginia. I think I've been to the Central Point. War. Here we go, Culpeper. Here's an early Culpeper. Railroad connecting Washington, D.C. and Richmond crossed Culpeper County, Virginia. So this area witnessed major Civil War battles. Both Union and Confederate armies occupied this area throughout the war. In 1861, the Confederates established a supply depot and training base here. In August of 1862, Union General John Pope marched the Army of Virginia into Culpeper County and engaged General Thomas Stonewall Jackson at the Battle of Cedar Mountain, but failed to secure the Union victory. In fall of 1862, General Robert E. Lee wintered in Culpeper County, Brandy Station. The largest Civil War cavalry battle was fought here in June of 1863. Neither side claimed victory. After General Lee's defeat at Gettysburg the next month, Confederate troops returned to Culpeper to regroup. As a result of the Second Battle of Rappahannock Station in November of 1863, the Union Army of the Potomac pushed General Lee out of the country and wintered here. The following spring, Ulysses S. Grant, the new Union General-in-Chief, launched his overland campaign from Culpeper, moving the war southwards to Petersburg and to Richmond. Well, let's take a walk up the hill. Now I'm curious if this was, at some point in time, somebody's home was up here. There's a 1st Brigade, 7th Division, 2nd Corps, protected by the 7th Ohio Regimental Association in honor of the officers and soldiers of that regiment who fought in the Battle of Cedar Mountain, Virginia, August 9, 1862. Many of whom are buried in unknown graves in this cemetery. Killed 37, wounded 153. Total loss 190 out of 307 present. Field and Staff Colonel William R. Cretin, Major O.J. Crane, Adjunct J.B. Molyneux. Oh, there you are. Huh. That's a lot of dead soldiers. Pennsylvania. Wow. Wolf. Wow. My understanding, don't quote me on this though, my understanding was that a lot of the Confederate graves were just kind of pulled out. It may have leaned more into the Union dead than the Southern. And I'm getting that impression by a lot of this configuration. I could be wrong. Yeah. 2nd Massachusetts Infantry. Big cannon. Lord. 1867. Internments. 1350, known. 443, unknown. 902 unknown interred here. Wow. Here's a statue from 1902. So I think when a lot of folks talk to you about the old statues, they might want to give a little more pause. This was erected in 1902. 28th Regiment, New York, State Volunteer Infantry, 1st Brigade, 1st Division, 12th Corps, Army of the Potomac, organized at Albany, New York, May 18th, 1861. Response to the first call for volunteers mustered into the United States service for 2 years, May 22nd, 1861. Ordered at once to the field, serving in the Shenandoah Valley and Army of the Potomac under General Patterson, Banks, Pope, McClellan, Burnside, and Hooker. Total number enrolled, 1,010. Total casualties, 488. Mustered at Lock Point in New York, June of 1863, 522. At the Battle of Cedar Mountain, Virginia. Regiment numbered officers and men engaged 357. The casualties in this engagement were killed and mortally wounded, 57 wounded, 61 prisoners, 92 total loss, 210 EV. Every officer engaged was killed, wounded, or taken prisoner. Other engagements and skirmishes: Martinsburg, Virginia; Point of Rocks, Virginia; Falls Bluff, Virginia; Winchester, Virginia; Columbia, Furnace, Virginia; Banks Retreat, Virginia; Shenandoah Valley, Virginia; Manassas, Virginia, Antietam, Maryland, and Chancellorsville. Can't underestimate. It's really kind of scary. I'll do a pan and we'll take a moment.